Hey all, Kick here from the Emerald Minecart, and yes, I am talking about the Fortnite chapter. Now, before I talk about Fortnite Chapter 5, let me talk about Fortnite Chapter OG. Now, it's not really a review of that chapter, which originally I actually wanted to review that chapter, but at the time I didn't really have a capture card, so I couldn't really record any gameplay for it, so yeah, sorry. But yeah, so honestly, for a short review, it was pretty fun. Yes, it was obviously just a nostalgia bait, but honestly, quite fun, and also, like multiple people will say, it isn't able to completely capture all of the magic of the first chapter, but hey, it did really well, and honestly, some of the skins, pretty up and epic, if I do say so myself. And now let's talk about the live event, which is pretty underwhelming. Now, just because I say that doesn't mean I hate it. It just felt underwhelming, especially since actually, like, later on, I actually discovered that apparently a decent chunk of what was planned for the event had to be scrapped, which, you know, a real bummer, especially since, you know, Epic Games made it sound like that this event was going to be, like, the craziest event in Fortnite history, when in reality, it kinda wasn't, so, you know, but yeah, but just because I say that doesn't mean I hated it, because honestly, quite fun. I really did like the visual of, like, the 0 point being destroyed and, like, coming back as this flower that blossoms into a whole new universe. Pretty trippy. Then these show-offs for the Lego mode, the racing mode, and the rhythm game mode, again, pretty cool. Then there was the Eminem concert, which, it was alright. There's definitely better concert out there. Honestly, the best one Fortnite has had, in my opinion, is the Ariana Grande concert. That was pretty freaking fun. Yeah, so after that, yeah, it was fine. Underwhelming, yes, but it was fine. So now, let's talk about Chapter 5. Now, something to know about Chapter 5 is it's actually a reboot. Not a complete reboot, we're getting, like, a reboot of the Chapter 1 parts of the Fortnite storyline, but it's a semi-reboot, where, like, some things are changed, but there are also some things that haven't. For example, there is a character that actually remembers everything that happened in the previous chapters, and I will explain who that is later. But if you know who the person is, well, you really shouldn't be surprised. So, yeah. So, the story is that Pewley, which is a friend of Jonesy, is kidnapped by a group of rich and wealthy people who have control over the island called the Society. Now, the Society was actually created by a man named Montague, which I am very sorry if I mispronounced that. Like I mentioned before multiple times, I'm not really good at saying some names in certain languages, so I'm very sorry. And the leader of this group called the Society is a girl named Valeria, who is actually the sister of another group. This other group, which is a group that Jonesy aligns himself with, is a rebellion group called the Underground. Hence why this chapter is called Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 1, The Underground. So, yeah, Hope and Valeria are actually sisters. So, yeah, this whole conflict is essentially sister drama. Which I don't mean that as a bad thing. Fortnite fans, please do not crucify me. But, yeah. So, yeah, Jonesy is obviously working with the Underground so he can get his friend back. Now, the reason the Society kidnapped Pewley is because they want to know what Jonesy knows. Specifically, Valeria wants to know everything that Jonesy knows, because this is where I reveal the character who knows everything that happened in the previous chapters, which this shouldn't surprise you, but it is in fact Jonesy who remembers everything, because that really shouldn't be surprising, considering Jonesy is, well, basically the mascot for Fortnite. Kinda. So, yeah. So Valeria wants to know everything that Jonesy knows because she wants all this knowledge so she can eventually, later on in this chapter, literally open Pandora's box. I am not joking. That is literally what happens. Okay, not near the end, but in the later weeks of this chapter, a giant molten arm bursted out of the ground near Ruined Reels, which this was a mini live event that sadly I was able to watch, but from what I've seen, it's pretty cool, especially since, like I mentioned, it's literally a giant molten hand bursting out of the ground with Pandora's box. Now, before I continue, if you somehow don't know what Pandora's box is, allow me to give you a very, 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 very oversimplified version of the story. So, one day this fire titan guy stole some sun from Zeus and he gave it to the people in Greek. Now, obviously, Zeus was not too happy about this, so he decided to give the people of Greek a special gift. This special gift is in the form of a box filled with absolutely horrible things in it. But after Zeus made the box, he actually realized that if he put this box on Earth, specifically in Greek, and if it was opened, not just Greek, but the entire world would essentially just be destroyed. So after thinking about this, he decides, you know what? I'm just going to give them this gift. I'm just going to have to give them the warning that they can't open it despite it being a gift. And honestly, now that I think about it, maybe I am going too far with this stuff. Maybe I should see a therapist for my hatred against humans. But yeah, so he delivers the gift and says, yeah, I know this is a gift, but whatever you do, don't open this. Trust me. You don't want to know what's in this. And someone probably asked, what, is it your wife's nudes? And Zeus replied with, okay, look, she's ugly, but she isn't that ugly. So, yeah, sorry for the sidetrack, but, yeah, one day, a random woman accidentally opens the box because she wanted to have a little sneak peek. Because, sometimes when, there's a box or something that contains something dangerous, you'll have those people who just want to see what this dangerous thing is. They just want a tiny peek, not knowing that if they open it, they may or may not cause the destruction of the world. So, when this woman got a peek, she accidentally opened it, and after she closed it, it was a bit too late, and most of Greek was basically plagued and destroyed by the horrible things that were in the box. But thankfully, a girl named Hope came along, and she helped to get rid of all the horrible, nasty things, and yeah, she sealed off Pandora's box and hid it somewhere, possibly up Zeus's ass, who knows. But yeah. So that was a oversimplified version of Pandora's box. So yeah, and actually, funnily enough, one of the characters, which is actually the leader of the Underground and the sister of Valeria, is named Hope. So, hopefully she might help out in the next chapter. I'm not sorry for that. I really am. I'm not sorry for that joke. So yeah. So the story has mostly been Jonesy and the Underground fight against the society so they can get back Peely and also stop the society from summoning the Pandora's box, which, like I mentioned, they kind of failed at that. But yeah, so usually Pandora's box is what you would think a normal sized box, but this time yeah, it's quite freaking big. It's quite massive, if I do say so myself. So, yeah, it's opened. All of this nasty, bad stuff is blasting out. And, yeah. There's that. So now, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of this chapter. Now, do note that this isn't in order of when this stuff happens, so keep that in mind. But, yeah, anyways, let's do this. Alright, so, first pro, I really do like the new map in the POI. The map gives off a bunch of European vibes, which is pretty obvious, considering, this map, the characters and the designs of the places. But yeah, two of my favorite POIs are Lavish Lair and Ruined Reels. They're pretty fun, I do like them, and, yeah. quite decent. I love them. It's going to be sad to see them go eventually, because we all know that's going to happen. Then next are some of the new weapons, which the new weapons are the Grapple Blade, Ballistic Shield, Striker AR, Cluster Clinger, Ranger Pistol, Reaper Sniper Rifle, and a Reaper Sniper Rifle. First with the Grapple Blade, which is a combination of a blade and a grapple hook. Honestly, quite fun. It's pretty epic to use. Then we have the Ballistic Shield. It's fun to be a problem for someone else with this thing, but when someone else is using this to be a problem for you, it's not fun. But thankfully, if you shoot at the Ballistic Shield enough, it will stun the person using it. Which, like I mentioned, it's fun when it happens, when you're doing it to someone using the Ballistic Shield, but it's not fun the other way around. Then the Striker AR. Look, I know it's just a not sniper rifle. I know it's just a rifle, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just the feel, the feel of this gun. It just felt amazing. Look, I know I'm sounding like a gun enthusiast right now, but no, I'm not. In fact, I don't even have a gun license yet, which honestly, considering my the current middle state right now, I think that's a good thing that I don't have a gun license. I'm just saying. But next thing, the Cluster Clinger, which is a evolved version of the original version, the suction grenade, whatever it was called. This, but also quite fun. Now the reason it's called the Cluster Clinger is because it will let out some more explosives, which pretty fun. The Ranger Pistol. Also, it's just a fun pistol to use. And finally, the Reaper Sniper Rifle. Also, pretty fun, pretty decent. I started to use sniper rifles a bit more often because I thought, you know what, I should at least try and figure out these things. So, my personal favorite weapons, or my new personal favorite weapons, are the Grapple Blade, Ballistic Shield, and Cluster Clinger. Here's to the hope that they don't get heavily nerfed or removed. Please, Epic Games, please don't. Next thing were the medallions. Honestly, yeah, I really do like how they did the bosses this time, because like previously it was like you shoot them a certain amount of times and then they're dead. But this time it's you shoot them a certain amount of times, they do a little emote, and then they gain more, then they regain all their shields, and I really do like that. It's like, it makes it somewhat more of a challenge, even if it's not too much of a challenge, depending on the situation. And also, I really do like, especially for, Peter Griffin, which, yes, he's in this chapter. I will talk about that later. I like how he does a little dance and then gains all his shield back. So yeah, I like it when they do a little emote. But also, when they're doing this, you do have a chance to keep firing at them, and depending on depending on how much people you have with you, you can actually kill them while they're doing their little emote thing to gain all their shields back. So, there's that. But yeah, the medallions are actually used to open the vaults, which, they're pretty cool, and I'm also hoping maybe I could get them as props, because honestly, it'd definitely be nice, especially a certain someone. Which actually, before I talk about that certain someone, the best part is that this was eventually patched, but originally they were able to completely refill your shields without having to take up a slot. And I'll talk about it later. They weren't updated to take a slot in your inventory, but it was definitely something that was that was affected by the patch. Then the certain someone, which is Oscar. All I'm gonna say is Oscar makes me feel something. Something between my legs. Something that just makes me want him to rail me for a day straight. I don't know. I just don't know where to put my finger on it. And I also just don't know where I can put my hand to grip tightly and give a little kiss. And, okay. I'm sorry. I'm a simp. I'm just a simp. The next thing, Peter Griffin. Now, I know, yes, people have a problem with him being buff because they were expecting him to be, how he usually is. Especially since later when, like the Chicken Man was added, and he had his regular body type. So, maybe there's a chance that one day we might get, like, regular Peter Griffin in the item shop or something. Because, there is already a difference between this version of Peter Griffin and the regular Peter Griffin. Which, something I should mention, this Peter Griffin is Battle Pass exclusive. So if you've missed out on the season, yeah, tough shit. And actually, something I wanted to bring up, originally... Actually, there's, like, a minor part of the map had to be changed because, like, let's just say there was a certain part of the map that kind of resembled a swastika, so they had to change it, and yeah. So, I don't know. I just found that funny, and I just decided to bring it up a bit. So, Peter Griffin was definitely a surprise. If you saw my reaction, you would know that, quite surprised. Next is the Lego mode, which is essentially Minecraft but Lego. And honestly, it's quite fun. I will say I haven't been playing it as much as I did back then when it came out, but honestly, I enjoy it. It's quite fun. It's a nice, if you don't like Minecraft, then no, it's decent. It's an alternative. But it's quite fun. Can be challenging occasionally. But, then the next thing is rocket racing. Hold on, wait. Just need to check something. Okay, there. So rocket racing, which, this was created because Epic Games happens to own Rocket League, which if you don't know what Rocket League is, essentially you play as these rocket-powered cars that play soccer. Which, quite fun. Rocket racing is also quite fun, and I really do like how you actually need to have some skill while drifting. Okay, I'm going to go off what I typed in, but you actually do need to have some skill to play this, especially since the default mode you're put in for this game mode is ranked, which means the better you get, the more you'll be put with players who are also better, just like you. Or sometimes even better than you. So, honestly, the whole system for, like, having to, do drifting to get speed boosts, like, it's a risk and reward system, it's also nice. It makes it, like, you actually need to have some sort of skill for this game mode. Especially since, like, this system actually does remind me of the system that was in Crash Team Racing. Specifically the remake. Then, the next thing is the fact that when you're gaining shields or healing, you can finally move around, which is so good. And yes, I know you can't run, but, you can somewhat move around and stuff, so yeah, it was fun. Next, the added Stealth EMP. Now, this was added when, Solid Snake finally was finally added into, like, the extra reward part of the Battle Pass, because usually, like, now Battle Passes have, like, these parts of it, like, there's a section in the Battle Pass section that's for, like, an exclusive collab character. This has been done since, like, Deadpool was added in, Chapter 2 of, Season 2. So, honestly, the whole Solid Snake thing, quite fun. The Stealth EMP were... Yeah, the Stealth EMPs are pretty fun to use. I like them. And it's not like they completely make you invisible. Like, if you have a decent eyesight and you look close enough, then yeah, you would be able to see someone with the Stealth EMP. Then the next thing was the fact that the business turret was unvaulted, which was honestly my favorite thing from Fortnite Chapter 4 Last Resort. I loved that. Then the mini Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themed Battle Pass, and the Shredder skin. Now, I'm not a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, I have a soft spot for it, but honestly, the reason why I got this one is because of the Shredder skin, because, look at this, this is freaking amazing. Then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle weapons, honestly, quite fun to use. My favorite was the, katana, or sword. Don't kill me, please. And my least favorite was the staff. So, yeah. Then next, the Odyssey quests. Pretty decent, pretty fun. Then the Lego Raft Survival it's fine, and then I'll Be Fun it's also fine. Although I will say I'll Be Fun do has some good music, I will say that. Now we get to the cons. So, when Fortnite Lego came out, people noticed that a good amount of skins that have been Legofied were missing details. Thankfully, Epic Games is already fixing this, but yeah, one of the skins that still hasn't been fixed yet is Highwire. Because as you can see, there is a difference between this and this and this. Yeah, well, Fortnite, where is the Lego version of my Dommy Mommy? Where is she? Fortnite, you better give me the Lego version of my Dommy Wolf Mommy right now, or I swear I'm going to come to your studio and okay, I'm sorry for simping. Look, if you were coming to this YouTube channel to expect me to not be simping, then I'm sorry. You've come to the wrong channel. But anyways, next thing, when you mess up in the racing mode. Oh boy, but yeah, if you mess up in the racing mode, like, you accidentally, like, turn backwards, which will happen when you're trying to climb or, like, drive on, like, the roofs, which, yes, that is something you can do, because there is some form of anti-gravity for this game mode. Yeah, you will definitely fall to 12th place if you don't know what you're doing. And also, something I actually do want to mention about the racing mode is the fact that, okay, so basically there are these, like, checkpoint gates, and if you skip one, you'll be taken all the way back to the one you skipped. So, I think this was made so, like, people couldn't take shortcuts, especially since, you have temporary flight in this game, and you can imagine people would try to abuse that. Because, if there's something that people can abuse, well, they're going to abuse it. So, yeah, I imagine that's the reason. And now, let's get to my final con. They nerfed they nerfed the medallions. So, yeah, I wasn't really happy about them nerfing the medallions, but hey, it's fair. Besides, it's not like they're completely bad. Sure, they no longer fully restore your shield to 100%, but if you are able to collect all of them, they will fully be able to restore your shield to 100%. But, yeah. So, all the pros and cons out of the way, now I'm going to talk about things for Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 2. So, Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 2, which is going by Season 2, Myths and Mortals, will be starting tomorrow. Or, depending on when this video comes out, which I hope is today. But, yeah. So yeah, it's Fortnite Chapter 5, Season 2, Myths and Mortals. This has a heavy Greek mythology theme, if it wasn't obvious enough with the Ruined Reels, POI, and, Pandora's Box. So, yeah, some of the skins were leaked by Survey, and there were other things that were leaked that were showing, yep, this is going to be a Greek mythology season, which hopefully that means not only we get to see Kratos back in the item shop, but maybe we might be able to see, maybe we might finally be able to get a variation, or, like, a skin, or at least a variation of the OG Kratos. Now look, I don't hate the reboot Kratos, but I just, it would have been nice if we got, like, an edit style to give us the original Kratos. Because honestly, I was quite surprised that the Kratos skin we didn't get an option to make for an edit style that made him look like his OG appearance. It just, I don't know, it just felt weird. So yeah, hopefully we get to see him in some form. Especially since, I'm pretty sure using the Blades of Chaos in Fortnite would be quite fun. So, there's that. Actually, now I was thinking about actually starting to play God of War game, so, yeah, there's that. But, yeah. So, honestly, I'm quite excited for this, chapter. Still kind of upset how they haven't released that trailer yet, especially since, they dropped the trailer for, Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 1 early, so, kind of weird that they didn't drop a trailer for this season. Okay, but yeah, and honestly, the skin I'm looking forward to the most is the Cerberus skin, because, I'm a furry. A massive fucking simp. But, yeah, so, honestly quite excited, and also I will be doing a live stream of me playing the chapter. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, so I give this chapter a 4 out of 5, which yeah, it's good. Not like a god tier chapter, but no, pretty good. So yeah, so yeah, like I mentioned, I will be streaming chapter 5 season 2 when I get home from school tomorrow. So yeah. So anyways, that was it for the video. Make sure you all subscribe and like for more, and I'll see you all later. Peace out, home guards, and goodbye!